Thank you so much for the introduction, Dana. Appreciate it. For the next probably about half an hour, we're actually going to geek out on Facebook ads. So if you don't know yet, my name is Jason Hunt, and I run a social media agency. I actually merged my social media agency with an SEO company last year to form Merged Media, but I've been in the Facebook space since early 2016. To go back even further than that, I actually was, I got started in Facebook in 2007. I had a band in Japan, and I used Facebook to help, get a lot of eyeballs and get a lot of ears listening to my music. And I ended up getting a small mini tour of Japan, thanks to the likes of MySpace and Facebook back in the day. But that was when I first got into Facebook, and then starting my agency in 2015, working with over 300 businesses, including McDonald's, Firehouse Subs, as well as many e-commerce brands like Broil King as well, which is a big barbecue company. So we had the pleasure of working with tons of different brands. The social media landscape used to be a lot different back in 2016 than it is today. Back in 2016, when I would call a business owner, it was more like, I'd sell them social media, and they'd say, yeah, that's kind of cutting edge. That's sort of new. I'll try it. I'll throw money at it. And if I try calling a business owner today, I'm probably the 35th person that's called. So just to goes to show you how quickly this space is moving and how quickly it's becoming saturated with so many Facebook experts that a lot of businesses don't know who to pick. So in this presentation, I'm going to kind of give you sort of a broad sort of overview on the tactics that we've used, that we've deployed, that have garnered success for our business. So 2020, what the heck is going on here? So much has changed in the world in 2020, but also on Facebook, things have changed. It starts with COVID. And so when COVID hit, my agency, we lost a lot of clients in the dental space. We lost a lot of clients in the travel agency space, travel affiliates that we worked with. A lot of these people kind of died off, or their marketing budgets died off, because what's the point of marketing if you can't get any business, right? So we had to pivot our business and focus a lot more on the e-commerce space, which was thriving as there were a lot more eyeballs on Facebook, a lot more people at home scrolling through their feeds. That was getting us a lot more clicks and conversions on our e-commerce campaigns. So we kind of doubled down on where things were working. And then George Floyd happened, and that caused an uproar as well in terms of the coverage that was being broadcasted to people's news feeds, right? The kinds of content they were seeing. A lot of questions arose about fake news and this and that. But the truth be told is people were relying more on Facebook than the likes of CNN or all their other news sources. They were getting their own custom news source right there on their mobile phone. And that caused a lot of companies after the George Floyd thing to have a boycott. So you have companies like Verizon, Levi Strauss are pulling out their marketing budgets out of Facebook until Facebook finds a remedy for the issues that are happening, or for the hate speech and all these reasons on why these big advertisers want to pull out. We'll get into that in a second. Here's a quote from Zucks. There's your boy Zucks right there. That's a lot of suntan lotion for Zucks, but I digress. We experienced a significant reduction in the demand for advertising, as well as a related decline in the pricing of our ads. Of course. Right? So that's what Zuck said. And the result of that is an increase in time spent across Facebook apps since that pandemic started. And you're looking at 70%, a 70% increase in people spending time on their apps. That would be Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Audience Network, all that stuff. And here's just a quick look at the advertising heavyweights that joined the Facebook ad boycott. You have the likes of Verizon, big player. Ford pulled out, Honda, Coca-Cola, Best Buy. All these advertisers pulled out their marketing budgets, but Zucks didn't care. He gave 0 Fs about any of this stuff, because all Zucks cared about was that money was still coming in. You have small-time advertisers like myself that have bid caps in place. We're telling Facebook how much we want to spend per lead, how much we want to spend per click. So immediately when all these advertisers pull out of the bucket, well, what happened? Well, you had all these small advertisers' budgets started to spend, where in other cases, they just wouldn't spend because you're competing with the Verizons and Coca-Colas. So that created a great opportunity for small advertisers. The way you can kind of look at it is like a bucket full of water. You put your hand in the bucket. What happens when you take your hand out of the bucket? You know, is there still a hole in the bucket? Is there still a hole in the water? No, that's the way Facebook is. And the advertising revenue continues to increase. There's a slight dip so far in 2020, but still, nobody's going anywhere. You know, if anything else, you know, more and more people are actually joining Facebook, surprisingly. The fastest growing demographic in the platform are women and men 50 plus. They got to be on the platform because their kids are on the platform and they're showing pictures of their grandchildren on the platform. These, you know, the older demographic is definitely going to be a player on that platform, especially. And if you have a product, an e-commerce product, or any sort of a product that needs and your target audience are women and men 50 plus, Facebook's definitely a good play. Now, this is the traffic growth or decline due to COVID-19 amongst a handful of industries. As you can see there, travel obviously was smashed really hard. Nobody's booking all-inclusive vacations to Cancun, Mexico. It's just not happening right now. But on the flip side of it, you have the likes of media, which is seeing a lot more traffic. Finance, food, healthcare, adult is also seeing a surge in traffic. Dating traffic, like everything. There are certain industries that are thriving right now, and I don't think I need to educate this audience here on what those industries are or what those products are. But you know what industries have been hit, and you can kind of get a good idea on where things are going in the next 6 months to a year. So quickly, Facebook by the numbers, 2.45 billion monthly active users are on Facebook. You got 65% of Facebook users are under the age of 35. A lot of people are surprised by that. A lot of people believe that a lot of the younger demographic have moved their attention over to the likes of TikTok and Instagram, which is true, but the stats tell you 65% are still under 35. 96% of Facebook users access the platform via mobile. In my opinion, I think that actually decreased a bit. With the pandemic, I think a lot more people were spending time at home and a lot more people were on their desktop, but 96% of Facebook users are accessing the platform via their mobile. So you got to make sure that whatever site, landing page that you have is obviously mobile optimized. Now, why Facebook? Well, first and foremost, it's effective. 83.3% of social ad spending is on the platform. In my opinion, there's no other targeting platform out there much like Facebook. The ability to get in front of the exact user that looks like your perfect customer, there's no other platform that does that as good as Facebook. You can produce very fast results on Facebook. You can run a campaign today, spend $100 and decide whether or not it's a good campaign, whether you should scale it. You can reach your ideal audience on Facebook, obviously leveraging custom audiences and creating lookalike audiences, something we'll get into in a bit. But those are definitely good opportunities for you to get in front of that perfect person. Customizable ads. So you have obviously objectives. A lot of people, they don't leverage certain objectives correctly. For example, if you're an advertiser that boosts posts, you're wasting your money. You might as well go to a campfire and just roll a briefcase of dollar bills on it because you're just lighting your money on fire. When you're boosting a post, essentially what you're doing is you're telling Facebook to get your ad in front of people that scroll through content, people that have a tendency to just whip on by content. You want to get your ads in front of people that have a tendency to engage on content, comment on content, like content, click on content, go through to a landing page and convert on content. The type of users that you want to get your ads in front of. And new features and enhanced user experience. Facebook is always caring about that user experience, and they want to make sure that people that are on the platform are having a good experience, because if there's no people on the platform, there's no marketers on the platform. No marketers, no money, right? So you got to make sure that that user experience is a good one, which is why Facebook's always coming out with brand new ad units, brand new ad placements. It only takes time before things get kind of numb to a user and they're sick and tired of seeing swipe up ads. So Facebook needs to evolve and keep things fresh. There's opportunity everywhere. More people spending time on Facebook than ever before. It's like the new newspaper. Like we said, it's the new media. Everyone's getting their news from Facebook now. More opportunity to get in front of your audience than ever before. So it's definitely good. I mean, I don't think I need to educate most of you that are probably already on Facebook or leveraging Facebook or finding ways to be savvy to get in front on the platform. I'm going to tell you our 4-step process to launch. Step 1, research your avatars. So this is before we even start a campaign, we need to figure out where our audience is playing, what they're doing. So we'll spy on competitors. We do this all the time. If we're working in the food industry, We'll go and check out, Starbucks. Let's go to the page transparency section on their Facebook page, and we'll go there and we'll see every single ad Starbucks is running. If Starbucks is running an ad that's been running since April, well, there's a good chance that ad is probably working. And this goes for any type of business, especially a lead gen business, right? If you're a lead gen business and you have ads running from April, there's a good chance that ad is probably working. So why not find that ad, capture that ad, and create something similar to it for your own business, right? Understanding the pain point of your customers, right? It's kind of like the aspirin effect. What is that immediate sense of resolution for your customer, right? And you can get so many ways you can understand what that messaging is that you need to get in front of your audience. Visiting review sites. We do this all the time. We'll go to a competitor review site. We'll go find one of those 1-star reviews and then flip it and understand what we need to put in our ad copy to address those pain points that customer is having with a competitor. Okay. Facebook groups, obviously embedding yourself in Facebook groups is a great opportunity. Facebook is prioritizing groups more than anything else. And a recent update, Facebook is going to allow the opportunity for you to actually target groups now. Finally, no more needing to be savvy with the way you can get in front of people that are in a group. It's funny. Before, what we used to do is we grab a video, we take that video, post it on our Facebook page. Then from there, we would share it from our personal profile into a group. Hopefully, cross our fingers, the admins let it get through. And then we capture anybody watching 3 seconds of that video within the group. We go back to our Facebook page, hide it, so we're not capturing people from our Facebook group seeing it. And so we can ensure that we're only capturing people within that Facebook group, and then create a custom audience from that. Okay, hopefully I'm not losing anybody out there with that, but that is kind of the hack. But we're not going to need to worry about that anymore because Facebook is now allowing us the opportunity to target groups. It's coming soon, depending on what country you're in. Know the policy. This one is a massive headache, has been a headache for us. You just need to understand who you're getting in front of, because if you're putting a message in front of certain people that are going to hide your ads or complain about your ads, you're going to be wasting your time because you're going to get your ad account probably shut down, right? And a perfect example of that is targeting people. If you're a dating advertiser and you're targeting people, you happen to get your ads through targeting people that are married or engaged, well, you're probably going to get a lot of complaints. So you want to avoid that, let alone Facebook doesn't technically allow that. But that's something just to keep in mind, is understanding that audience that you're getting your ad in front of. So in dating, for example, you just read through the policy, spend a little bit of time to understand what's okay with Facebook. I mean, Facebook's just getting better and better at being able to detect somebody that's not compliant. Man, our business has dealt with this. Like we've had ad accounts shut down. We've had personal accounts shut down. We've had business manager shut down. You just need to be smart with the way you're doing it, right? Like, I don't know. I'm a white hat Facebook guy. There are black hat people out there that do their thing. They're really good at it. But, and I can't speak to that, but I can speak to the white hat side. And if you want to stay compliant and be a good boy or good girl at Facebook, just read through the policy and understand what you're doing. So when you go to try to get your ad account back live or your business manager back live, that you have an understanding as to why your ad or ad account or business manager got shut down in the first place. The trick here is you don't need to overcomplicate things on Facebook. People's attention spans are so short that you just need to capture their attention and get them to take that action that you want them to take, okay? Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Here are 3 ads that we're running for an online chat business. These 3 here all got through, no problem. We're running perfectly fine. Keep in mind, a lot of ads were restricted. A lot of ads were shut down, but I'm just showing you the ones that did get through. And they're ones that are very simple. Sign up today. Doesn't sound like a very strong call to action, but I'm telling you, Facebook's honing in on some of those words that you might want to use in your copy, and they're going to get you flagged. We find by just keeping things simple, we were able to fly under that radar, and these ads all got approved. Targeting. So everybody knows about Facebook targeting and the ability to target based on interest. Facebook actually just is cutting off 1,000 of those interests, heads up there. So if you're running ads right now and you're targeting certain interests, Facebook is going to be cutting out 1,000 of them just because they're duplicates. That's the only reason they're doing it is you might have small business owner, co-founder/owner. There's a lot of these duplicate sort of interests that you can target. Facebook's just scanning through that and making it a lot more easier and simpler to target. Okay. But one thing to keep in mind is exclusions. If you want to target higher income earners with your ads, well, let's think about adding an exclusion audience to that. Don't just target people that are interested in Louis Vuitton. Target people that are interested in Louis Vuitton and exclude Walmart, right? So if your target audience loves Louis Vuitton, they probably don't have an interest in Walmart for the most part. Okay, so it's leveraging those exclusions can be super beneficial to ensuring that you're having a profitable campaign. Build your custom audiences and lookalikes. So, if you have a customer list, and I don't say just any customer list. Sure, you got to have a customer list of minimum 100. But let's say you have a customer list of 5,000. Okay, if you have the ability to segment that list from your top 25% customers, your customer spending the top 25%, create a list of that and create a lookalike off of that. Okay, and then in the same token, you're going to want to create an exclusion list of those customers that are not good customers. Maybe people that are chargeback customers or people that are just a one and done type of customer. Create a custom audience of those people and then add that to Facebook and then create a lookalike off of that list. So Facebook knows not to get your ads in front of those people. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm running. I got to run through this. I got 5 minutes to go. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna blaze through this, guys. Okay. So here we go. This is. I love this slide here. This is the way we run all of our campaigns. We like to warm up an audience before we hammer them with a sell. So you have your interest-based audiences. You have your lookalike audiences. The idea is to get those people to become a page engager, site visitor, or video viewer. Not a 3-second, but maybe like a 10-second or 25% video viewer. Okay. Once they're warm, then you get these users in the bucket, and the users that are in this bucket are ready to be sold to. Okay. I'm going to breeze by this. You guys already know about how to build an audience. Okay. These are my 3 favorites though. Building audiences off of people that watch 50% or 75% of one of your videos. If somebody's watched 50% of a video, they're going to be familiar with your brand and you're going to be warm for selling. Okay. Customer list, like we talked about. Website, creating an audience of those people spending the most time on your website. You can do that if you have your pixel properly set up, or people spending the most amount of time on a checkout page or initiate checkout page, or whatever it is. You can create all these different types of audiences and just test them all out and test lookalikes of those. Okay. The goal here is to find that home run hitting audience with the ad that resonates best with that audience. That's going to give you the best result. Okay. I'm going to breeze through this. You guys are all advanced here, so you guys all know how to do that. Copy. You want to pack a punch in the first 3 lines. On Facebook, you have 3 lines and you have that see more button. The goal is, if you're running with long tail copy, you want to get people to hit that see more button. I was talking to my Facebook rep last week and I was asking them about that see more button. Well, they didn't know this, but if you click that see more button, that counts as an engagement. Any click on the actual ad is an engagement. So the goal here is to entice them to hit that see more button. Okay. Outline the pain points. Like I said before, the aspirin effect, immediate sense of resolution to the problem. You're the doctor, prescribe the solution within the ad. And always test hooks, test emojis, use emojis or not. It depends on what type of audience you're targeting, on whether or not they're going to convert on you using an emoji. So test. Here are a couple of examples of ads that we've run and I've got through no problem. But if you look at the copy, always be ready. It's straight to the point. It's simple. And then you look down at the bottom here, take less than 10 minutes to complete. It's a very easy, you're getting people's attention over to a landing page, and there's a clear expectation of what they're going to see when they're on that landing page, which is very important. Bounce rate, high bounce rate on Facebook. Facebook monitors that post-Facebook experience. So if you have a high bounce rate, Facebook's going to negatively impact your ads, and you see your price increase drastically. Okay, one of these ads generated 9,289 landing page views at 7 cents. This is just a test. I asked Dana earlier which one he thought, and he went with number 3. He thought number 3 generated clicks at 0.07 cents. But in actuality, it was number one, and it makes perfect sense. Number one, the copy on number one just makes it more enticing for people to click and learn more. They're not being sold to. It's thought-provoking. It's making people think and making people want to understand and click that learn more button and hit that website. Creatives, make them relatable to the avatar. The better you can make that creative relatable to the avatar, the more people are going to take that action you want them to take. Facebook. In 2020, we're seeing images, static images, actually crush it on Facebook. So test both because, like I said before, Facebook's always changing. And use creatives for each placement. I can't get into this today, but I ran what's called the sneak attack method for our own business. It's coined by Tim Bird. It actually worked really, really well for us. If anybody has questions about the sneak attack for service-based businesses, essentially what you're doing is telling Facebook to spend $1,000 a day, but they're not spending $1,000 a day because you have a big cap in place to ensure you're only spending X amount per lead. Okay, whatever it is, whatever you can pay for a lead, telling Facebook to cap it at a certain amount. But in order to do it, you do need to test lots of different creatives, every single ad placement from carousel to Instagram swipe up to landscape, vertical ads. All that has to be tested in order to run this effectively. All right, I was going to show you guys a case study, but running out of time.
No, you have to.
Oh, I have some time now. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so we work with a lot of events. The European Summit in Portugal last year, we did ads for them, and we also run it for them in Prague. And this is how we ran those campaigns. Is we had our cold targeting. So cold targeting includes page view lookalikes, past attendee lookalikes. As you can see here, so many different types of lookalikes we're using here and mixing in some interest-based as well, right? This is cold audiences, have never heard about the European Summit before, affiliate marketers that we want to get into our ecosystem and warm them up. So with the warm targeting, these are people that are previous attendees to the event. 75% video. Registration page visitors, email list. These are people that already know about the event. So now we can be a little more aggressive in our copy. As you can see here, we're giving an actual deal or some sort of a discount that people need to opt into. This is the time to do it. If we do this too prematurely in that buyer journey, we're going to be wasting our money. People are going to scroll past the content. But these are people that are familiar with that little logo in the top left-hand side and the European Summit, and now they're consuming the content, and in this case here, we're getting them to take that action. And then hot targeting. These are people that were previous attendees and registration page visitors. So people that hit that registration page might not have submitted their information, but are definitely warm. This is a good time to drop any sort of testimonial ads. If you have testimonial video ads, that's amazing as well. But just further giving credibility to the actual event. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I have one ask of you guys. If you guys want to work with me, you can hit me up. I'm on all of those platforms there. Facebook. Yes, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at JHuntOfficial. I'm most active on Instagram. Each week, I push a new YouTube and IGTV episode, giving some value, showing you how we run Facebook ads or SEO or any of that stuff within our space. So make sure you give a follow on Instagram for sure. Okay. And if you want to book a call with me or meet with me, you can add me to Skype, JHunt Canada, email jason@merge.ca, website merge.ca. There's my phone number there if you want to add me to Telegram or WhatsApp. Thank you guys so much for your time. Appreciate it. I'm going to swing over here and bring Dana in.
All right, Jay, we're going to hop in here and see if we've got some questions. You want to throw our Telegram chat up there? I've got a question myself, or more a comment based on what you had said. Creating that avatar. How important is that as a step one, really, to building your Facebook campaign, your social media campaign? You really have to understand that audience that you want to target.
Creating the avatar is the most important part to the campaign, because when you're creating the avatar, essentially we're actually going as far as, we're not just going to create one avatar for a brand, we're going to create several, right? So you're going to give them a name. You're going to know what they're doing. Do they stop at the gym on their way at night after work? Do they have kids? We need to understand all of this stuff, because this information's going to add to the type of messaging that we're going to be putting out there. Because the messaging that we put out there to a 55-year-old female that's looking for a skincare product is very different from the 25-year-old male that's in the sports betting.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. When you were talking about copy earlier, do you prefer or do you see a greater utilization of shorter or longer copy, or does that really depend on the product or vertical you're promoting?
I think a lot of it has to do with, it really does depend on the product or vertical. But I always say test. So for example, if you're looking for a higher price, if there's a higher price product, like let's say it's a course for $9.97, well, you're going to need some longer tail copy for that. You need to provide some more credibility, provide some more information on it, give people something to read.
Yeah.
But if it's a quick instinct buy, like a microfiber towel, well, in that case there, you can have something short and sweet, like get 20% off, limited time discount, click here to learn more. And if you have a really compelling or captivating video, it can be very effective.
Sure. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Let's talk about real estate for a second. I'm sure you see quite a bit of that on Facebook, and certainly here in Canada, real estate's really at an all-time high. It's a real buyer's market. Are you seeing many lead gen offers being run, many flows on Facebook right now as a result?
Yeah, and I'm surprised I didn't queue up these questions.
But I'm writing these as you were talking.
Okay, cool. So we actually my agency works with one of the big real estate asset management company in Toronto. So basically, when a new development is launched, we're creating a Facebook ad immediately because we need to get in front of investors to that want information on those developments. Yeah. So yeah, it's a hot market, and if you're a real estate agent, it's a little different because you really have a long-tailed sort of funnel that you need to bring that user through. If they see, hey, I'm Jason Hunt and I do real estate, nobody's going to care. I'm going to be like a flyer in the mailbox, right? But if you can leverage it in a way where you're guiding that customer along that journey to understanding who you are, you're embedding yourself in the community. Maybe you are doing door knockers, maybe you are doing flyers, but using Facebook to target those postal codes where you're targeting those areas can be super effective. My thing is, man, just increase the ad frequency as much as you can.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And don't make it annoying, but make sure you're having different series of ads in different places. Because if you're running a billboard ad, great. Target people living in the postal code of that billboard ad or the zip code of that billboard ad. There's just
drop a pin, like you used to say last year, right?
100%.
That's what you start with 1,000 meters around a pin drop, and then you can actually narrow it down from there.
Right down to a kilometer. Oh. Yeah. So there you go. Or like I say, you can pick the postal code or zip code as well. That's just as effective. But I think it's increasing that ad frequency. They say it's 6 or 7 times before somebody actually makes a buying decision on average. So, that could be hitting them up 5 times or 4 times on Facebook, 2 times on Instagram, maybe on TikTok, or it could be a billboard or this or that, or a trade show like this. You just have to have multiple points of connection with those people.
Sure. I mean, I've got a question for you here, and it's not, you might not be able to speak on this, but you did mention that a lot of the big brands pulled out of Facebook with certain events that happened that caused concern for the type of content that you might see on the platform. Does that make them more vulnerable to actual ROI advertising with affiliate marketers kind of owning that space now, rather than the big companies that are simply looking to mass brand?
Absolutely. So, I mean, the opportunity is eyeballs. I mean, a lot of affiliates are probably trying to get in front of the same eyeballs that Coca-Cola is getting in front of, or Verizon, or Levi Strauss. So it's a supply and demand thing, right? It's an auction. So the minute Coca-Cola, who has that winning bid in the auction, once they pull out, well, the next best bid's going to get that spot or get those eyeballs. So it's definitely a huge opportunity for any small scale marketer on Facebook, because I noticed it personally, like all of our costs went down immediately. And once when COVID happened, then they started creeping back up. Then when the boycott happened, ad costs started to decrease again.
Amazing.
Now, finally, it's starting to rise again. This is the thing, though. This is once Coca-Cola and Verizon are ready to come back on board, they're never going to get those prices they once had.
No.
Because people are getting a taste of the water, right?
Yeah, they are. The pool's getting deeper.
Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, this is probably a stretch, but have you heard any rumors about new advertising options available on Facebook? Maybe some things that have leaked about how things may change for 2021 or later this year?
Yeah. So, I mean, so TikTok actually used to be a part of Facebook's audience network. I noticed that one day my ads were running and I saw my ad on TikTok and I was like, whoa, I don't remember advertising on TikTok. And it happened to be in Facebook's audience network. Facebook's actually shutting down, apparently, audience network. It's one of those third-party apps where just the regulations are becoming a little more stricter.
Okay.
So we might see audience network disappearing, which is not a huge percentage of the Facebook traffic anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see what happens to TikTok in the US. as, because it's going to be banned in the US unless some American company picks it up and purchases it.
So is that not banned yet? You're still able to?
No, I think I think Trump put like a 40-day sort of notice on TikTok.
Okay.
So I think you have the likes of, I want to say Microsoft was going to bid on it. And there was, somebody said Walmart. Walmart was actually was talking about buying TikTok. So that's something to watch out for in the next little bit.